Hey, Nolan Stoltz here, the composer of the Route 66 suite, and this is part 2 of a series of videos I'm making about the various alignments of Route 66 through St. Louis, dating back to 1926. The main source I'm using for these videos is Sorting Out 66 in St. Louis by Jim Powell, the founder of the Route 66 Association of Missouri. 20 years later, it was published in Show Me Route 66 magazine, the official magazine of the Route 66 Association of Missouri. And the editor, Joe Sonderman, called it the definitive work on the subject. Okay? It's been updated in 2012. Now, I'm also using maps from Jim Ross's Deep Tracks maps collection, and these were put out in 2022, so 10 years after that. And I'm also using some of Joe Sonderman's maps, as they are helpful as well. You may recognize this footage from my previous video because this is the 1926 approach into St. Louis. We're going over the McKinley Bridge westbound. Now, what's different from alignment to alignment is what happens after the bridge. Ross 2022 and Sonderman's maps show Route 66 going west on Salisbury, but Powell 1992/2012 shows it going south into downtown. And the explanation may be simple as this. Powell's source is a 1926 AAA road guide. Perhaps it's not the official route, which is probably what Ross would have used, but you know what? I'm doing this for inspiration for the AD 1926 movement to sort of put myself in the place of a 1926 traveler, and a traveler may have used a AAA tour book. Instead of turning left and going down 9th Street like in part 1 of the video series, we're going to stay straight on to Salisbury. And we're not going to turn left on Blair right here. That's an alternate 66. I'll save that for a future video. Up ahead, we're about to pass Florissant Avenue. That was the city route from 1936 to 1963. Again, I'll save that for a future video. If we look back behind us eastbound on Original 66, we see this nice piece of urban art on the side of this building. But continuing westbound on Original 66, we come to Natural Bridge Avenue and turn right. Now, coming up on the left, we're going to see the old Fairgrounds Hotel. This is a luxury hotel built in 1927, 28. Now it's apartment building. But Route 66 turned left onto Grand Boulevard right before the Fairground Hotel. So we're going to go that way. However, there was an optional 66 that kept going straight right past that building, and that was 1929 to 1931. Now, driving down Grand is super cool, so it's a route not to be missed, because look at the really interesting architecture of this early Route 66 era. For instance, as we head down Grand into downtown St. Louis, on the left we'll pass the old St. Louis Theater from 1925. It's now known as Powell Symphony Hall, because this is where the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra plays. So I've mentioned in several other videos that I go to these old theaters for inspiration for the Show Will Go On movement. But, this one in particular because the St. Louis Symphony plays there. Now up ahead you see the Fox Theater, yet another classic Route 66 era theater, providing inspiration for the Show Will Go On, but also the Neon Dreams movement because this got a great neon sign, as does the Powell. Now you see I'm passing Del Mar Boulevard. That's because Route 66 turned on Del Mar, but this was Del Mar, now called Grandel Square. The street to the north was renamed Del Mar, so it's a bit confusing. Coming up on the right is the Sun Theater, before that known as the Lynn, but during 1926 to 29, when Route 66 came through, it was known as the Fox Liberty Theater. It actually dates back to 1913, then known as the Victoria Theater, and it presented German language plays. So we'll continue westbound down what was known as Del Mar, now Grandel Square. It goes right through this building, and we're going to pick this up in the next video.